Announcement. Thank you. And then speed round. Do you have singers? Wait, speed round. Speed round. Just, yeah.
Did I just turn the choir one in? I don't know if I plugged it into the right thing. Blah, 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 blah. I think that was it.
Faith statement. Mission statement.
Blah, 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 blah. Please join me, hymn 17, 1017. Bye.
Your gifts will now be gratefully received.
Ingrid Ahlberg, prayer and meditation.
Blah, 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 blah. For what? Faith statement? Okay, faith statement. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Blah, blah, blah.
Faith statement.
Faith statement. Thank you.
Faith statement. Also the thingy with the music. Faith statement. And then please rise for hymn number 1053.
May we blah, 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 blah. Oh, shoot.
the button on?
Good morning. And welcome to South Church. It's so nice to have each and every one of you here this morning. Whether you're visiting for the first time, attend as often as possible, or are joining us online. Our congregation is led by our minister, Reverend Ellen Quadras, and our Director of Lifespan Ministries, Kirsten Hunter, in shared ministry with us all. Today, we have a special worship which will be offered by our 8th grade coming of age participants. My name is Stephanie Katz, and I'm one of the 4 facilitators who have led this group of teens through the program since October. Coming of age is a UU rite of passage that marks the transition to adolescence, a unique time that bridges between childhood and adulthood. At South Church, that involves weekly meetings where youth explore their values, beliefs, and what it means to hold an identity as a Unitarian Universalist. They consider how to transform their relationships with peers, family, and others in their lives to reflect their own growth and development. And they explore balancing new freedoms with new responsibilities. Today, they will share their personal faith statements with you. After the time for all ages, kids in grades 6 and younger will be invited to go downstairs for a religious education offering. Kids in 7th grade are encouraged to stay in the sanctuary for the full service today to witness the potential of what is ahead of them. Following worship, all are invited to join us for coffee, refreshments, and fellowship downstairs in the social hall. The music today is graciously offered by Susan Adams and the CoA Mentors. We acknowledge that South Church stands on ancestral and unceded lands of the Pennacook and Wabanaki peoples, members of the Wabanaki Confederacy who have stewarded this land for generations. We honor their deep connection to this place, and we recognize the enduring presence and contributions of Indigenous peoples, past, present, and future. As a community rooted in faith and justice, we commit ourselves to learning from Indigenous wisdom, acknowledging historical and ongoing injustices, and working toward reconciliation and right relationship with the original stewards of this land. We have listening devices and large print hymnals in the back. Please silence any electronic devices. We hope you enjoy your time with us this morning. We will now hear some announcements.
Good morning. My first announcement is that you are in for an incredible treat this morning with these young people who, by chance, are all males this year. We've never had that with coming of age, and it's a really cool coincidence. And their mentors are all males, and it's been really cool to see the dynamics of that in play this year. So I have a couple announcements, and then I'll pass it off. One is that after worship at 11:45 this morning, we have the parents of trans and non-binary children, youth, and young adults group will meet at 11:45 in the Emerson room downstairs. And also on June 8th, there will be a concert in this sanctuary. It's going to be amazing, so buy your tickets for Kafari, happening June 8th. And connected to that, we need some help putting up posters. So if anybody's able to help put posters up in various places, you can see Jen Leiden to get some of those. We have them in the back. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Thank you. Along with June 8th things, in June we have the 13th and 14th, which is the Pocket Garden Tours of Portsmouth, which is a fundraiser we do here at South Church. It's in its 36th year. It raises $20,000 to $25,000 for the church, and it's not a closed group. We need all of your help. We currently have 29 people volunteering those 2 days, and we need 48 more. I might have done my math wrong. So come down and sign up for that. If you also want to get in working sooner than June 13th and 14th. Bake cookies, put them in your freezer, because we also need 33 more batches of cookies. This is a great way for South Church to engage in the community and have the community engage with us. So thanks for coming and volunteering, or look in your order of service for more information.
Hello, we're senior youth, and we are downstairs after the service today selling prepared meals that are corn chowder, bean salad, and zucchini bread, and some plants left over from our Mother's Day plant sale, and then also some coffee and chocolate that all benefit our trip to General Assembly in Baltimore this June. So definitely come down and buy some.
Our chalice will be lit this morning by the coming of age mentors into the wilderness, into ourselves. We light this chalice for the wilderness within and around us, for the winding paths we make and take as we grow, for the questions that echo louder than answers, for the beauty and uncertainty of becoming. May this flame that represents our faith be a guide, a steady light when the trail is hard to find, a warm reminder that we do not journey alone. Here in the wilderness of change and the promise of growth, we kindle courage, curiosity, and community. Let us travel together into all that is unfolding.
Now please rise, embody your spirit, and join in reciting our mission statement found in your order of service. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through worship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people, and we inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Drohan, and I am also one of the facilitators who have led this group. Today marks the culmination of an extraordinary journey, one that has unfolded over the past 8 months with this group of 7 remarkable young men, all around the age of 14, who have been walking the path of our coming of age program. This morning, they're not just participants, they're our leaders. They've taken on the important task of guiding this service, sharing with us the truths they've discovered, the questions they're still asking, and the voices they're learning to trust, their own. As one of the 4 facilitators walking alongside these youth, I've had the privilege of witnessing something truly powerful. Growth that is not loud but steady. Courage that takes time to find its voice. And a deepening sense of self that doesn't come with easy answers, but with authentic exploration. Each of these young men arrived with their own stories, their own doubts, and their own quiet hopes. And over these months, I've watched them begin to shape those pieces into something whole, something strong, something uniquely theirs. They've asked hard questions, shared deeply, and listened generously. In doing so, they've offered one another the most sacred gift of all, presence. When I was their age, I didn't have a coming-of-age program. There was no formal moment when I was invited to step forward and say, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is how I will begin to live with intention. For a long time, I didn't realize how much I had longed for that kind of moment. But something unexpected happened over these past 8 months. As I sat in a circle with these young men, as I witnessed their questions, their doubts, their growth, I found that I was also healing something in myself. I was, in a very real way, coming of age too. Not all at once, not in a single ceremony, but gradually, in each honest conversation, each spark of insight, each time they dared to be real. So today, as we celebrate these youth and the brave steps they've taken, I also want to acknowledge what a gift they have given us, the gift of remembering that we are always becoming. There is no age limit on growing up, and there's no wrong time to step more fully into who we are. Thank you for being here to witness this milestone. May we all listen with open hearts, and may we leave this space a little more awake to the journeys we each continue to walk. Now, please rise in body and spirit to join in singing hymn 1017 in the Teal hymnal.
We now invite all kids and anyone who would like to hear the story to come up and sit on the floor.
This is Where the Wild Things Are by Maurie Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to his bed without eating anything.
That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until the ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around.
An ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. In and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws.
Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with his magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start."
"Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat, so he gave up being king of where the wild things are.
But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye.
And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him.
And it was still hot.
Jackson's going to send you out, but before he does, I wanted to tell you that these folks practiced this worship last weekend, and when they were practicing, we had no idea what the story would be for this morning. And they were like, "Jen, wait a minute, what about the time for all ages?" And I said, "Well, do you have an idea for that?" And they said, "We want to do Where the Wild Things Are." They had this idea all on their own. And so they read through it, and then I asked them, what makes this an appropriate story for this worship today, for coming of age? Do any of you remember your reflections?
It was like, we thought it was about how Max, he got more respectful over his journey to his mom specifically.
There was more. That is the part, yes, that stuck out the most. And we talked about how at the beginning it was turbulent. He was acting out and not respectful with his mom, and he went out, had a journey, discovered himself, had some relationships that he learned a lot from, and came back to what? Warm supper, his family's unconditional love, and his newfound respect for himself, right? So I just wanted to lift up that they chose that and understood what this program is about.
Do you have a question?
I did this play in drama class.
Children can now go to RE.
It is now time for the morning offertory. Time to support the good work of this congregation. In keeping with our commitment to acting on our faith in the larger community, each month the money collected in the offertory is used in multiple ways. One half goes to support the financial needs of our church, and the other half is shared with local nonprofits that is doing excellent work in our community. These organizations are nominated and chosen by the congregation. For the month of May, our collection will be shared with NAMI NH, National Alliance of Mental Illness of New Hampshire. NAMI NH is a grassroots organization working to improve the quality of life for all by supporting support, education, and advocacy for people affected by mental illness and suicide. Your gifts will now be greatly received.
Good morning. I'm Ingrid Ahlberg, and this year I had the wonderful opportunity, did I get that right? Wonderful opportunity to be a facilitator for our coming of age group. Clearly, I'm the senior member of the group, but absolutely at a juncture in life to examine my faith with a group of both adults and youth who willingly took on the challenge. This year, with our energetic coming of age youth, has been as much an opportunity for me as for them to examine our values, our faith, and our direction. I believe all of these young men will agree this examination of faith requires self-reflection, courage, review and rework, and an understanding support group, a very real strength of our South Church community. I'm just as sure that they will affirm that what they have accomplished this year required all of these, and that their search and journeying were not in vain. Now, in a spirit of meditation and prayer, let us be inspired by their journey as we pause to reflect on who we are and where we find ourselves in this moment. May we consider our values and honor all that we carry in our hearts. In a world that often feels overwhelming with its uncertainty, sorrow, beauty, anger, and joy, this practice of reflection could offer grounding. Let us now enter into a moment of silence to hold space for ourselves and for all who are struggling, and to celebrate the beauty and joy that persist in the world around us. Now, as we listen to the youth space statements, may we all hear opportunities for transition and transformation. May their insights and courage bolster all of us in our journeys into the future as they bolstered each other. As the tents they pitched together a couple weeks ago protected them from the rain on a stormy weekend, may our faith protect us.
Hi, my name is Parker Cole. I believe that creativity is power. If you're creative, you're going to succeed in life more easily because so many employers are looking for people who are creative. A big wave is about to hit this world in the form of AI discoveries, and I think the creative thinkers can build a ship quickly enough to ride it out. I personally am very creative, and I come up with new ideas constantly, having ideas come and go within a few weeks at most. Maybe, we'll see. I love this simple 3-word quote told me by my karate teacher. It basically means that even when something bad happens, something good can come out of it, and vice versa. Like if your dog goes missing and someone says, "Oh, that's so sad," but then you find your dog again and they say, "Oh, that's great," but your dog got sick while it was missing, well, you get the point. Relationships. I believe that one of the most important things in life is to have good relationships, whether it's friendships or family, and that separation can strengthen bonds. My brother, Caden Cole, left for college 2 years ago. Before then, we practically created sparks of lightning just looking at each other like cartoon characters do. But after he left, I think we both realized just how much we were missing. Every single time he came home, whether for the summer or for a short winter break, we would get along much better. We wouldn't yell at each other very much, and we would agree on things more often. He even agreed to watch an episode of my favorite show, which he hates, and actually showed some interest in the style. Slowing down. I believe that it's important to slow down and take a deep breath when you feel like you need to, or when your mental, emotional, or physical health is saying, "Yo, I'm getting a little tired. Can you chill out for a second?" I came up with a metaphor for this. Imagine you're a race car driver in first place, but when your wheels is falling off, your engine is making weird sounds, and you still have 2 more laps to go. What would you do? Keep going, or take a pit stop and get your wheel back on and your oil changed and everything else that you do in a pit stop, but go back to 5th place? Raise your hand for just praying your car doesn't explode and keep going. Now, raise your hand for slowing down, taking a break, and getting your car checked out, but going back to 5th place in the last 2 laps.
Exactly. It's genuinely dangerous to keep going and not take a break when you need it, even when it's not a race car. Thank you for listening to my stupidly long faith statement. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Good morning. I'm Wilder Kiper Phelps. My family and I have gone to South Church for 6 years. I was born in East Montpelier, Vermont, and grew up there with my 2 sisters for nearly 7 years before moving to York, Maine, where I live now. It's always interesting knowing you've spent half your life in another state than the one you live currently. Little me back in Vermont was very happy and pleased with the friends he had made in his first several years of consciousness. I can remember leaping into the deep, thick puddles of mud in our eroding driveway. Little me didn't think about his beliefs in God very much, or what it would be like to live far, far away from home. Of course, I do miss Vermont. However, I never regret my parents' decision of moving to Maine. I feel as if a large piece of me is still a couple hundred miles away, buried in the stained floorboards of our old blue house. A strange worry is that little me's past friendships in kindergarten, preschool, have the possibility of being left in the past with the transition to high school. Though the feeling is somewhat uncomfortable, I'm fortunate enough to have stayed in touch with a couple of friends still in Vermont. In fact, every year they come up to Maine and stay as long as a week or 2. Even this short time is a nice refresher of the friendships we were able to maintain throughout the departure from East Montpelier. This brings me to my first main value I'd like to share with you all, and that is my value for friendship. I think that my friends bring out the best and worst self. I value the freedom I have with them when hanging out. My friends make the world feel big. We share both common and uncommon interests that make being together meaningful and enjoyable. Friends, to me, are people I can rely on, and that's what makes friendship an important aspect to life. I feel very privileged to live in a town like York. It's a completely different feeling being close to the ocean. At first, the feeling was unfamiliar. I'd grown up swimming in small reservoirs with no wake. Then my world was completely changed when introduced to a much larger reservoir in which you couldn't see the trees that filled the horizon on the other side. Little me wasn't sure what to make of the ocean. It was definitely frightening. Over the years, the long days we would spend at the beach altered my view. Now the ocean is just the ocean. This brings me to my next set of values: nature, freedom, and exhilaration. Every summer I sail with a small club of people off the beaches of Maine. I sail for hours, going fast under the warmth of the sun, but hidden beneath the cool shadow of the sail. I'm not sure why, but being on a sailboat floating above the sometimes unmerciful waters is thrilling. I feel as if I have the freedom to go anywhere. I believe in science. I believe that we as humans have developed from single cellular organisms over many, many years. I believe that the universe as we know is constantly expanding. I don't necessarily believe in a higher power, as there is no proof that one does or has existed. However, just because there are things science lacks to understand or doesn't have enough evidence to prove otherwise, does not limit me to having faith in something unknown. Of course, this doesn't mean I believe in God. No, I believe and have faith in more important things that matter more to me than whether there is a God or not. Personally, I acknowledge that I have faith that my family will always cherish, love, and care for me, no matter the circumstances. I have faith my siblings and my parents and I will have a long, fulfilled life and happy life. I have faith that I have the power to make at least one person's day every day. I believe you make your own opportunities. In other words, you can either wait for something to happen, wait for yourself to get lucky, or work for what you want to see in your future. I believe listening to music has the power to calm me down in anxious times. I don't believe in the afterlife. I simply believe that once we die, our bodies are given back to the earth. No heaven, no hell. However, I also believe our souls are not given up. Instead, they are reincarnated into a new body with no memory or personality of our past lives whatsoever. Just a natural string of light meant to initiate a new life. Thank you.
My name is McKinley Murdoch. I believe in God present in all of life, and He calls me to seek truth, live with love, and work for justice and peace. I'm guided by respect, kindness, and fairness, striving to honor all people and care for the earth. You tried your best and you failed miserably. The lesson is never try. If you really want something in life, you have to work for it. Those words were from The Simpsons. The words never try suggest giving up on difficult things. However, the full quote tells an important lesson on it's okay to struggle and fail in life. In the real world, failing is part of the process because we learn and grow from our mistakes. And through these struggles, we are reminded that God walks with us both our failures and our efforts, offering grace and strength. What I believe in is how God is always with me, no matter what is happening in my everyday life. Every day, I feel connected to God even when I don't think I am, even when things feel impossible. That connection helps me keep going even when I'm tired or unsure. It reminds me that I don't have to face things alone, and that somehow things feel okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackson Lohr. I grew up here in the beautiful city of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I've grown up coming to the Unitarian Church. I love it here, and I love the community and the people that come here. This is the most welcoming place I've ever been, and it's given me many friends and memories that have made me the person I am today. What I've learned from my time in the UU community is that everyone is different, and as humans we need to learn to accept and respect that. Even though we might not like everyone, and everyone might not treat us with the same respect we expect or deserve, that doesn't give us as humans the right to treat them any differently from how we would want to be treated. During my time on my spiritual journey, I've studied religion, beliefs, and values. And what I've related to the most is the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus, or God, being real or not, is insignificant to me. The teachings and lessons of Jesus Christ are based off of love and acceptance, and I can truly see myself benefit off of aligning with those teachings. The most important part of the Christian religion to me is being kind to others and accepting differences and loving everyone. Nobody is perfect, but the only thing we can do is thrive to be as close as possible. One of my key values is forgiveness. I've always believed in second chances, and I believe that there is good in every single person. My mom once told me that forgiving someone isn't always for the person you're forgiving, but for yourself. I believe that if you make a positive impact on the earth and the people you meet, then you deserve to go to heaven. I don't think your afterlife outcome is dependent on your beliefs. I want to live a life that improves the lives of others. I want to make the world a better place. Throughout my life, I've always made an effort to improve the lives of family members, friends, people walking down the street, and even people I don't particularly like. I want to bring this world a little more love and a little more forgiveness. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dylan Errecart. When I think about faith and religion, I feel like I never got the choice. I knew I have the choice, but I always felt pressured to believe what other people around me believe. And being surrounded by Catholics and Christians swayed my thinking from what I believe in to listening to others and making their beliefs mine as well. It started back in second grade. Don't ask me why I remember this, but I do. We were doing a survey of people's favorite colors. Half the time I said red, which was true at the time, but it changed when I surveyed my friend Julian. He strongly believed in blue, and I thought since he was so confident that blue was the best color, I changed what I was saying. For the second half, I said to everyone that blue was my favorite color. At the end, it was a little confusing for the people that wrote me as red, but that's not the point. The point is that we are so influenced by the people around us that we don't give ourselves the right to have our own belief systems. When I first heard about faith statements, I immediately thought that I would write that I believe in God. I realized the problem with that when I realized I don't really believe in God in the sense that he is an almighty being that creates and destroys and made the entire universe. That's not saying I'm a person that solely believes in logic and reason. I just don't believe in that type of God. I believe that there is a higher power that has thoughts but doesn't share. My beliefs feel similar to the typical God but have some major differences. This higher power is not humanly formed and doesn't have a name. I believe that everyone has one of these powers to watch them make their life decisions but never step in. Just follow you wherever you may go. This power is created through love. It is created through It is created by all the individual connections through your loved ones. If someone you care about dies, their energy and power help you make your energy grow. This energy is represented through light. It shines down on you even when you can't see it. ChatGPT informed me that light is still present even when it appears dark. You always have the power in you and around you to make the decisions that feel right. I believe that we are all interconnected and form a healthy, welcoming community. When I was younger, I used to talk to myself, like most young kids, but it never felt like I was talking to myself. It always felt like there was someone that was talking to me, invisible but there, someone that was watching over me. This is what I believe in, something watching over me, but not a Christian God that is perfect, some energy that is always present. This is represented in my painting by the sun. I'm the blurred out person in the middle, and the sun is the energy I'm talking about, shining down on me in a haze of purple mist. The purple felt relaxing to me, and the basketball court is a very meaningful place to me. When I'm on it in my zone, I don't think about anything. It's like my brain's on autopilot, and I'm just a spectator. It's peaceful, like I'm working hard and hardly working. This energy will continue to grow with me, and when the time is right, my light will come together with it and form into a loved one's light. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Declan Brown. I've been going to South Church since I can remember. I live in Newmarket with my mom, dad, and sister. When I thought about faith, I thought of stuff like believing in a God or some afterlife, but going through CoA has really broadened my horizons. I know that faith isn't just belief, it's how you live your life. Firstly, I believe that there is some power of karma in the universe. Whenever something bad happens, good is not far off. Terrible things will happen, but they always leave room for good things to happen in their wake. During my life, I have struggled with anxiety about leaving a comfort zone that I had built up for myself. This includes stuff like my house. I could never really sleep at other places. This happened to me during the wilderness retreat that I went on with CoA. I had a lot of anxiety during this, but despite the panic, I was able to talk through it with people and have one of the most fun experiences I have camping. This ties into karma in huge ways because the onslaught of panic was the bad thing, and the good thing was having a lot of fun. Secondly, I think there's an afterlife that we go to when we die. I feel like there's no way that we just disappear once we die. Like, we've built ourselves up for a long time, and we just go poof in an instant. I also think this because my grandfather, before he died, started looking into a corner and talking to somebody that wasn't there. I think he was looking beyond whatever veil there is into the afterlife. I also believe this because I lead a lot of mythology from around the world, and there's a lot of places that believe about some sort of afterlife. Lastly, I believe that all people are inherently good. I believe this because people don't just have evil intentions at birth. They're unchanged by the environment around them.
A good environment, like South Church, really influence belief and values. In conclusion, the values I hold have changed over time and still will. I'm so thankful for the CoA experience, so thank you, facilitators and mentors. Thank you. Now please rise and join in singing hymn number 1053 in the teal hymnal.
That was amazing, wasn't it? All right, settle down, everybody. We still have a little more to do. So one tradition with our coming of age program, once our youth complete the program, we have a small gift for them to remind them of this community and our shared faith. So I'll invite our mentors up to present the gift of a chalice necklace to each of their mentees. Thank you. Mentors may have a seat.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again.
Hot mic, hot mic. May we be ever so fortunate to see at times the world through the eyes of a youth and witness more of who we are. May we remember to love and forgive ourselves. May we engineer an even more loving, creative way. May we choose to act in our ability to be good. May we get lost in moments of focus. May we create with intention and courageous patience. May we sometimes find our way back to the dim yellow and heavily rusted toy dump truck buried with curiosity in a childhood memory. May we find our home within ourselves. May we choose to explore our own relationship with faith. May we recognize these amazing youth for their courage and thoughtful words and the gifts each have shared with you today. May we go now, knowing that when we return, we will find friends. May it be so.